Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rose. Thank you a lot for those that have been here so far, and also for them that are new here. I would kindly request you to subscribe and we grow together. As the topic of this video suggests, I want to talk about bad bosses and how we can survive them, or how we can work, thrive, and be happy with the work life, even when we work with bad bosses. And I would, before you can conclude that a boss is bad, it is always good to be sure that they are truly bad bosses. This I say to mean that sometimes we are so judgmental. Sometimes a boss can be very strict, other times they are very firm and they want work done in a certain way. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are bad. And some other bosses can be results driven, and I guess every boss should be, and everybody who works should be results driven. And when they do things to have work done and results achieved, then it doesn't mean that they are bad bosses. When you want to conclude that a boss is bad, it's always good to weigh the good that you see in them against the bad, because nobody is 100% good. We always struggle. We have our faults, we have our bad times. Sometimes you just go to the office and you don't want anything to do with anyone. So we should also weigh bosses in the scales that we would want us to be weighed on. So before you can conclude that a boss is bad, or a boss is bad, kindly make sure that it is true that they are bad. Correct? That's the first thing that I think everyone should do. Another point is we should always respect them. A boss is a boss, and when you signed that contract, or when you signed the employment letter, you knew that you would have a boss, and it is required that we respect our bosses. Always show respect, whether they are bad or they are good. Never shout at them in front of people. If you want to speak yourself, especially as far as their character is concerned, just make sure that you're the two of you. You could ask for a meeting, you could wait until every other person is gone, or you just go to their office and tell them you would like to talk to them, and then you tell them what it is that they have done which you're not happy about. Disrespecting them is not a choice. It's not an option, actually. Respect is all that is required, whether it is a bad boss or it is. Respect them for who they are. Respect them for the fact that they are your boss. Yes. Don't belittle them. Even if I know some of us are better than our bosses, but that does not mean that you can rub it on their face. And don't ever do anything to prove that you're better than they are. Just do all things to perform. Do everything like it is your duty to do. Do everything to just do them, but don't do them to disrespect or to try and prove to them that I am better than you. And thus, you will survive in that office. Some people, when they sense disrespect or they sense competition, they become worse. Another point is, don't let their behavior affect you. Don't do anything to punish them. Don't try to even the score by working slower or getting late, or don't do anything to show that, to prove a point, you know, to, you know, sometimes when we say naye nitamuonyesha atajua mimi ni nani, imagine it's not, it doesn't help anyone, it does not help you, it doesn't help them. Yeah, the best thing you can do is to stay in your lane. Just do your work, do it well, and you will have no trouble with them. They will look for you, watakutafuta, but they will not get you. Once you are like, I have no competitor in my boss, I have respect for my boss, and I cannot allow myself to be affected by the way they behave. Yes, or my work will not be affected by the way they behave. Another point is set boundaries. Yes, don't reciprocate their bad behavior. Distance yourself from it. It's not a tit for tat game that you're playing with your boss. You are there to work. Just keep working. Do not become bad because they are bad. You get, your being bad will not affect my character, it will not affect how I relate with you, and I will not allow you to go past this, you know. Like, when a boss disrespects you before people, do not answer back. Do not try now start exchanging words. The best thing, and the thing that I have found helpful, is to have them finish what they were saying, go back to their office, or you make sure they are alone, and then you go and make it clear to them that what they did not show respect as far as you are concerned, and you will not allow them to disrespect you. That in itself is not disrespecting them. You're trying to tell them what you can't take in. Yeah, yes, it is very okay. You can go ahead and do that and tell your boss that, because some bosses are quite something. And unless they are stopped, and you know, you stop them in a respectable way, you stop them in a way that they will appreciate, and it always ends well. Once you do it with respect, you don't go storming their office or shouting at them. You just go, you are calm and collected, and you tell them what your concern is, that what they did not please you, or you took it as a disrespectful act, and you will not allow them to do that. Any human being can take in that, and any human being will know how to handle you when you set your boundaries. Yeah. And another thing is, do your work well. Some bosses are messy, or they don't like working, or maybe they are not good at their work, and they would want to pull every other person to be like them. Please do not transact with such. Do not indulge with their being lazy, or their being dishonest, or their being just there. Do your work well. If you're required to meet targets, make sure at a certain period of time, make sure you do it. Work well. Give results. When you signed that letter of employment or your contract, you promised to deliver, and that, even at that point, was not pegged on the type of a boss that your employer would give you. So keep faithful to the promise that you gave on that day when you're getting employment. Tafadhali, please do. My other point is, you act as a leader. In some institutions, roles are very defined that my performance is not affected by my boss' performance. Yes, they are my supervisor, but my JD is so defined that I can perform even when they have not performed. So when it is that way, when they just supervise, you can decide to set up ways on how you will work in order for you to keep performing. You can do it for yourself, but the best way to do it is to always keep them looped. You can make decisions that affect your work, but always make sure that you loop them in. That's one way of showing that you respect them and that you do not see them as a competitor. And people that are able to make such decisions and follow them through until they have something to show for the decision that they make, they will always have peers in the workplace following up after them. So at the end of the day, you become a leader in your own way or in your own capacity, because a leader is anyone who has someone following after them. And if you have people who depend on your decision for them to perform, then you can always, and as long as the decision that you're making does not affect work in general, or as long as you know that it is not jeopardizing the company, as long as you know that the decision you're making is for the benefit of the company, then it is okay, you can do it. Be the leader, make it, follow it through, show results for the decision that you have made. And I don't think that anyone, I know there are horrible bosses and there are crude bosses who would not take it positive. But I know as long as it's not the owner of the company, if it is a supervisor or just your boss, and it is a big company or a company that has other people, once you do something like that, I think everybody gets happy. Everybody appreciates. Everybody is proud to be associated with you. Even a bad boss would be proud to be associated with you once you have made a decision which has brought good results, because every supervisor should be proud of their performing juniors. So sometimes be a boss, make decisions, follow them through, and perform. One last point that I would make is, you as a person, identify triggers. Identify the things that make your boss respond in a bad way or in a horrible way, and try to avoid them. For example, if you work in a publishing firm and your boss cannot just condone misspellings, then, because you know that is what makes them get to their boiling point, it is always advisable or always good to be keen and very keen. If you know that your boss is a person who is not a last minute person, they love work submitted in good time, then please work through what you've been allocated to do and submit it before the last minute. You know, if they don't like lateness, for example, if your office opens at 9 and you have noticed that when you come 5 minutes before 9, it doesn't go well with them, why don't you come at 8:30? Because if you want to live well, everybody loves peace, everybody loves tranquility, and tranquility cannot be found in a place where one person is not happy about what you're doing or about what the rest of the people in the office are doing. So once you know what triggers their bad behavior or their bad character or the worst version of them, just avoid it. Do what you can do. I don't mean you do things to please them. I want to say that that's not what I mean. I mean, do things the right way. As long as it is a desire from them for things to be done in the right way, please follow through. Just do it, because that's your boss and that's how they love things done. And if they cannot, there are some who cannot just take it when a junior presents a better way of doing things, or all those things. If you find that this is a person who does not like the suggestions, just do things their way, as long as it gets you to achieving the results that are meant to be achieved. Yes, and always be the best version of you. Be gracious to them. Even the very worst person would love to experience love, would love to experience grace. And it is believed, and this is very true, that nothing, even animals, nobody can reject love. If you showed some love, you never know, it would be the thing that they have never enjoyed. Or if you show some respect, it would be the thing that they have lacked in life, and hence they have grown to be what they are. So try to put yourself in their shoes and imagine everything that would have made them what they are, and try help them undo those things by being the best version of you. They are human beings. Some of them are fathers or mothers, they are parents, and others even don't realize that they are bad. But when you approach them in love and you want the best for them and to experience life with them in the workplace, then I don't think it's impossible. Everybody would listen to anyone telling them something or correcting them in love and showing a lot of grace to them. Such people, instead of getting into defending themselves, they listen. When it is a concern, you can always sense concern and you can always sense critics. So when you go to criticize, definitely they will jump into defending themselves. But when it is a concern that you're trying to express, everyone would listen. And so, because they are humans like me and you, go ahead, show your concern, show it in love. Try to prove to them that they are your boss, that they are worth the work that they do, and that you appreciate what they do, not in a pretentious manner. Be sincere, but at the same time, do not be sincerely wrong. Because you can't be going to your boss and trying to point fingers at them. You did this, you did. One thing I have learned in life, and this thing I was taught by my elder sister, is when you're arguing with someone, try to avoid using you did this, you said this, you went, all that. Try to use I. Like, I felt disrespected when you did 1, 2, 3. Always start with I did not like the fact that this and this happened, and yet another thing will have been better. I thought, I felt, I prefer, I would. Those are the best words to use when you're dealing with someone who, if you want to achieve results, if you want to come to a consensus with that person that feel like you're going to fight them, or you're going to tell them about their bad side. So always try use I. Start statements or phrases with I. Start with I. That one is a winning point. You will thank me. Yes. So I pray and hope that this helps, because there are things that have helped me. When you find a leader, even in a group, in a small group, and you find a leader that you have been assigned to that is not nice, but you know what? You can still thrive in such like a group, in such like an office, in such like a company, because you know what to do. First of all, you know what brought you there. You did not come to fight or to counter bad bosses. You came there to work. Let that be your driving force. It's about me doing my job, me enjoying my job. And once you make that decision to enjoy your job and not to let outside things affect you, it's possible. You can still enjoy. And I know people who have thrived and worked so well, and yet their bosses were horrible. So it is possible. Never try to fight back. Just be yourself, and things will be good. Yeah, I hope that this video has helped someone, and I hope that we will put into practice some of these things, and that we will find our work life enjoyable and better than it has been. Until next time.